Hey there, friend. Have you ever wondered what it was like to be at the heart of an empire, not as a ruler by birth, but as a person who had to fight, to scheme, to love, just to survive and thrive? History books are filled with the names of kings and emperors, but what about the people who shaped them from the shadows? The quiet figures who whispered into the ears of power? Today, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful women in all of Ottoman history, a woman whose journey began in chains and ended with her shaping the destiny of an entire empire. We're going to talk about a woman named Roxelana. If you love drifting off to cozy history stories, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments where you're tuning in from and how late it is on your clock. Now, dim the lights and settle in. Let's go back in time to a place where the scent of 1,000 spices mingles with the salty air of the sea, and where an empire is at the very peak of its golden age. You find yourself waking up in the early 1520s, but not in a place you recognize. There's the low, rhythmic groan of a ship, the slap of waves against its hull, and a faint, unsettling smell of sweat, brine, and unwashed bodies. You're huddled with other young people, some crying softly, others staring out with blank, exhausted eyes. You can't remember your name or where you came from, only fragments of a life before this. A peaceful village, the sound of church bells, the familiar faces of your family. All of that is gone now, a ghost. The men who took you were fast and brutal, and the journey that followed was a blur of fear and disorientation. The ship finally docks. You hear shouts in a language you don't understand, and the rough feel of hands on your arms and shoulders. They lead you off the vessel, and suddenly, the world explodes into a chaotic symphony. The air is thick with the scent of roasted meat, sweet pastries, and the sharp tang of leather. The sounds are overwhelming. The clatter of 1,000 languages, the blowing of animals, the ringing of a coppersmith's hammer, the distant calls to prayer. You are in Constantinople, the jewel of the Ottoman Empire, and the slave market awaits. The next moments are a strange, dehumanizing parade. They check your teeth and your limbs, just like they would with a horse. The stares of the buyers are cold and appraising. You are a commodity now, not a person. You feel the rough texture of the coarse linen you're wearing, the dirt caked on your bare feet. Your fair skin and red hair make you stand out, a curiosity from a foreign land. You hear a few whispers of Russ, or the one from the north. It's an unwanted distinction. But then, a new face. Not a merchant, but a man in fine clothes, with a serious, observant expression. He speaks to a man next to him, and a transaction is made. The coins change hands, and you are led away from the noise and the stairs into a world of quiet halls and lush gardens. You've been purchased, but you're not sure what. All you know is that you're no longer on the auction block. You are now the property of the great Sultan Suleiman, a man who has not yet seen your face, but who will soon change your life forever. The transition is gradual, almost like falling into a new dream. The rough linen is replaced with soft, clean fabrics. The smells of the market give way to the delicate scent of rosewater and jasmine that perfumes the air. They lead you through an endless maze of corridors and courtyards, each more beautiful than the last, with fountains trickling in the center of every garden. You are now in the imperial harem, a world unto itself, a gilded cage with its own strict rules and silent expectations. The women here are from all over the world, each with her own story, her own trauma, her own desperate hope for a better life. They move with a quiet grace, their eyes watchful. You learn that your name, the one you had before, is gone. It's a final severing from the past. You are now simply a chattel, a possession. Then, you are given a new name. It's not a common name, and it's said to mean the joyful one. A name like Hurrem. You can't imagine why they would call you this. You don't feel joyful. You feel like a ghost in your own body, a memory of a person who no longer exists. But you learn to smile. You learn to laugh, even when it feels like a lie. You learn to speak the language, not just the words, but the way the words are weighted with respect and deference. You watch the other women, the way they carry themselves, the way they vie for attention. You see their desperate hunger for a future, for a moment of notice from the man who holds all their destinies in his hand. The education is relentless. You're taught how to read and write, not just Turkish but Persian and Arabic. You learn poetry and music and the delicate art of conversation. Your days are a quiet rhythm of study and waiting. The harem is a place of immense beauty and immense sorrow. You hear the stories of women who have been cast aside, whose moment with the Sultan came and went, leaving them to live out their days in a kind of forgotten retirement. The one rule you learn above all others is this: if you have a son, your future is secure. If you don't, you are nothing. You watch the mothers of the Sultan's sons, the quiet pride in their posture, the way they walk a little taller. Their place in this world is earned, but it is also fragile. You also learn about the mother of the Sultan's eldest and most beloved son, Mahidevran. She is known as the Gulbahar, the spring rose. She is beautiful, elegant, and she has given the Sultan his heir, Prince Mustafa. She holds a position of power, a kind of quiet royalty within the harem walls. Other women whisper about her, some with jealousy, some with respect. She is the one to beat, the one who represents the old way of doing things. You, with your foreign looks and your new, strange name, are nothing in comparison. But you have a secret weapon, a quick mind, a sense of humor that is as sharp as it is unexpected, and a will that has been forged in the fire of everything you have lost. You feel a stirring deep inside you. This is not just a place to survive. This is a place to win. The days drift by in a quiet hum of expectation. You see Sultan Suleiman from a distance sometimes, a figure of immense power and dignity. He moves with a purpose, a world away from the secluded life of the harem. The women who are chosen to spend time with him are selected with great care, often by his mother or the chief eunuch. They are bathed in oils and perfumes, dressed in the finest silks, and then sent to his chambers, their fates hanging in the balance. Most of them return to the harem, their moment a brief, forgotten flicker. You, on the other hand, are not conventionally beautiful. You lack the dark, dramatic features that the Sultan is accustomed to. But there is a rumor that he is looking for something else, a different kind of companionship. Some say he is weary of the sameness, of the rigid, beautiful perfection that surrounds him. And one day, a whisper comes to you. The order is given. You are to be prepared. The maids come and wash you, perfume you with rose water, and dress you in a simple but elegant robe. Your heart pounds in your chest, a bird fluttering in a cage. You know this is your only chance. Your life, your future, all of it comes down to this single moment. You are led to his chambers. The air is warm, fragrant with incense and burning wood. The room is large and filled with quiet luxury. The Sultan is there, sitting on a divan, reading. He looks up as you enter. His eyes aren't cold or bored. They are curious. He doesn't seem to care about your foreign looks or the fact that you're a slave. He seems to see you, the person, not just the object. The moment stretches out. A maid offers you a lute, and you play a simple, haunting melody you learned in your old life, a lullaby from your village. He listens, his head tilted. When you finish, he smiles. Then, you do something no one else would dare. You tell a joke. It's a simple, silly story you heard from one of the other girls, about a clumsy cat. The Sultan laughs. It's a real, booming laugh that fills the room. His eyes crinkle at the corners. He starts to talk to you, not about power or politics, but about poetry, about philosophy, about the stars. And you respond, not with deference or with a script you've memorized, but with your own thoughts, your own sharp, quick observations. You've had to study, to read, to learn, but you have always been a clever person. You feel the rust of your old self flake away, revealing the real you beneath. You are no longer just a slave. You are Huram, the joyful one, and you have finally found someone who sees that. He keeps you with him all night, not just as a lover, but as a companion, a confidant, a friend. In a world of rigid protocol and silent servitude, you have just done the unthinkable. You have made the Sultan laugh, and you know, with a sudden, overwhelming certainty, that this is only the beginning. What follows is a slow, steady change, a tectonic shift in the quiet world of the harem. The other women notice it. The first time you are called to the Sultan's chambers, they whisper, but they don't think much of it. The second time, the third, the 10th, the whispers turn into murmurs of disbelief. It's unheard of for the Sultan to show such favoritism. He has his official consorts, his favorites, but none have ever captured his attention so completely for so long. The old rules, the ones that said a sultan must spread his attention among many, are crumbling before your very eyes. You see the resentment in the eyes of the other women. You see the quiet, seething jealousy of Mahidevran, the mother of the crown prince. But Suleiman is not a man to be swayed by tradition. He is drawn to your mind, your wit, your fierce and joyful spirit. You are not just a beautiful object to him. You are a partner in conversation, a trusted confidant. He writes poetry for you, and you write back. Your letters are filled with affection, with jokes, and with subtle observations about the people and politics of the court. When you give birth to your first son, Mehmed, the harem holds its breath. This should be the end of your time with the Sultan. According to the ancient rules, a concubine gives the Sultan one son, and then she is to be sent away to a provincial palace with her child, to raise him for his future role as a governor and, perhaps, a sultan. It's a system designed to keep the women in their place and to prevent any one woman from gaining too much power, but Suleiman refuses. He doesn't send you away. He keeps you right there, in the Topkapi Palace, where he lives and governs. He has you close to him, and he continues to favor you above all others. And then, you have another son, and then another, and another. The harem is in an uproar. The old ways are being tossed aside like so much dusty old carpet. You are the mother of 5 of his sons, and you are not only still in the palace, but you are a constant, powerful presence at his side. The other women don't understand. The eunuchs don't understand. The old order is falling apart, and you are the one pulling the threads. Your connection with Suleiman is not just physical. It is an intellectual and emotional bond that transcends the rigid social structure of the empire. He values your opinions, your counsel. During his long military campaigns, you don't just wait for him to return. You send and receive letters, and in them, you talk about the state of the empire, the political intrigues, the news of the city. He trusts you with a level of intimacy that is shocking to the court. The Venetian ambassadors, the chroniclers, the diplomats, they all start to write about this strange, powerful woman with red hair, the one who has captured the Sultan's heart so completely. They call you Roxelana, the Ruthenian woman, and they try to understand the nature of your power. They suspect witchcraft. They whisper about love potions. But what they don't understand is that you're not using magic. You're using your mind. And that, in a world of silent, obedient women, is the most powerful magic of all. The whispers of witchcraft were just the beginning. The next shocking act would be an event so radical, so unprecedented, that it would shake the very foundations of the Ottoman dynasty. It was something that hadn't happened in over 100 years. As you continue to walk through the cool, marble halls of the palace, you hear the gossip, the murmurs of disbelief. There are even foreigners who have written about it in their letters back home. You are no longer just the Sultan's favorite concubine. In a public ceremony, a festival for all of Constantinople to see, you have become his legal wife. You stand there in a beautiful, embroidered dress, your head held high. As Sultan Suleiman places a ring on your finger, it's a small, private moment between you and him. But the implications are immense and public. By marrying you, a slave, he has not only broken a sacred tradition, but he has also given you a new status, a new title. You are no longer just Hurrem. You are now Haseki Sultan, the royal consort. The title is new, created just for you. It places you above every other woman in the harem, even above Mahidevran, who was once the mother of the first son. You are a free woman now, not a possession. You have legal rights, property, and a powerful voice. The old rules are gone, replaced by a new reality that you helped to create. The other women in the harem are in shock. They cannot believe that a foreigner, a former slave, has risen to this height. The mothers of future sultans are supposed to be slaves, bound to the sultan, a part of the royal household, but never a true member of the royal family. The act of marriage gives you a level of respect and legal standing that no other consort has ever had. It makes you a queen in all but name. You are no longer a temporary favorite, a passing fancy. You are a permanent fixture, the wife of the great sultan and the mother of his future heirs. This marriage cements your place, not just in the palace, but in the entire empire. When foreign dignitaries come to visit, they are no longer just dealing with the sultan. They are dealing with you. You receive ambassadors, you read their letters, and you give them your opinions. The power you now hold is a subtle, quiet kind of power. It's not the power of a ruler who commands armies, but the power of a trusted advisor, a loving companion, and a legal wife. You have earned your place at his side, and you have made sure that your children will not have to live as second-class princes, born to a concubine. They are born to a queen, and their path to power has just been made a little more secure. The old world is watching you with a mix of awe and fear. They don't know what you'll do next, but they know, with a sudden, sinking feeling, that the old ways are gone forever with the marriage. The quiet tension in the harem becomes something more open, more like a Cold War. You are now the Haseki Sultan, and while you have an unprecedented level of power, you also have a powerful enemy. The old order is represented by Mahidevran, the spring rose, the mother of the Sultan's firstborn and most promising son, Mustafa. Mustafa is the heir apparent. He is handsome, intelligent, and popular with the people and the army. He is what a sultan is supposed to be, and he is the embodiment of the traditions you have so thoroughly dismantled. Mahidevran is a ghost of a life that is slipping away. She has lost her favored status, and now she watches as you, a former slave, a foreign woman, take the position that she believes should have been hers. The harem, once a place of silent, watchful harmony, is now a nest of intrigue and rivalries. The women of the harem take sides, some with you, some with Mahidevran. The palace is filled with whispers, with subtle slights, with quiet plotting. You feel it in the air, a cool, constant presence like a draft on the back of your neck. But you're not just a passive player in this. You are an expert at this game, and you have learned all the rules. You work to secure your position, not just with Suleiman, but with his court. You make alliances, you find out who is loyal and who is not. You cultivate your relationship with your daughter, Marima, and her husband, Rustam Pasha, a man who will become your most important ally. You use your power not just for yourself, but for your children. You know that as long as there is an heir apparent from another mother, your sons will always be at risk. This is a game of life and death, and you are playing to win. The old tradition of one concubine, one son, was designed to prevent these kinds of rivalries, to keep the bloodline clean, to ensure a peaceful succession. But with your rise, that system is shattered. Now, there are 5 sons, and one of them is the favorite, the heir, the one who represents the old way of doing things. And the other 4 are your children. This is a situation that has no precedent, no clear solution. The future of the empire, the future of your children, all of it hangs on the choices you and Suleiman will make. It's a dangerous game, one that requires a cool head and a strong will. And as you walk through the palace, you know that the final act of this quiet war is still to come. The air feels heavy, pregnant with the tension of two competing destinies. And you know, with a certainty that chills you to the bone, that one of them will have to fall. Your rise to power is a quiet, steady climb, like a vine wrapping its way up a stone wall. It's not just about your relationship with the Sultan. It's about your own ability to see the world for what it is. And what it is a series of connections, of people, of information. You start to use your position not just for personal gain, but for the good of the empire. You are a key part of the Ottoman court, a political player in your own right. You begin to correspond not just with your husband, but with other heads of state. During Suleiman's long military campaigns, when he is away for months at a time, you are his eyes and ears in the capital. You write to him constantly, long, personal letters that are filled with love and affection, but they are also filled with political intelligence. You tell him about the intrigues of the court, the health of the city, the mood of the people. You are his most trusted advisor, and he relies on your reports. You also correspond with other royal figures, like the King of Poland, Sigismund II Augustus, who is intrigued by the story of this Ruthenian woman who has become the Sultan's wife. You exchanged diplomatic letters with him, and some historians think your relationship with Poland helped to keep the peace between the two empires. You are not just a lover and a mother. You are a stateswoman. You use your knowledge of the harem, the whispers, and the gossip to your advantage. You have a network of spies and informants. You know who is plotting against you, who is loyal, and who is on the fence. You are a master strategist, and you are using your position to secure your family's future. You have a new power now, the power of the pen, the power of a letter, the power of influence. You also know that power is not just about what you can do on a grand scale. It's about the small, personal victories, the little acts of cunning that show your opponents who you are. You hear stories about other concubines who are brought to the palace, beautiful women who are meant to catch the Sultan's eye. But you find a way to get rid of them, not by force, but by persuasion. You send them away with rich gifts, marrying them off to some of the Sultan's most loyal and trusted men. It's a quiet act of power, one that shows the other women in the harem that you are in control and that you will not be challenged. You are not just a favorite. You are the only one. And you make sure that everyone, from the lowliest maid to the highest-ranking official, knows it. The game of power you're playing is about more than just a place in the harem. It's about who has the Sultan's ear, and in that game, there is no one more powerful than the Grand Vizier, Ibrahim Pasha. Ibrahim is not just a high-ranking official. He's Suleiman's closest friend, a boyhood companion who has risen to a position of immense authority. He is a brilliant general, a shrewd diplomat, and a man who has immense influence over the Sultan. He is, in many ways, your most dangerous rival. You see him as a threat to your power, but more importantly, as a threat to the future of your sons. Ibrahim has a deep loyalty to the old traditions, and he has a strong relationship with Prince Mustafa, the popular heir apparent. He sees Mustafa as the rightful successor, the man who will continue the golden age of the Ottoman Empire. And he sees you, the foreign woman, the former slave, as a disruptive force, a source of instability. He views you with suspicion and disdain. He believes that you have bewitched the Sultan and that you are leading him away from the traditions of his ancestors. He is a formidable opponent, a man who has the loyalty of the army and the trust of the Sultan. The two of you clash, not in open confrontation, but in a silent, subtle war of influence. You use your proximity to the Sultan, your constant presence at his side, to whisper in his ear. You give him information, you make him question Ibrahim's motives, you show him how Ibrahim's power is growing. Some historians believe you and your son-in-law, Rustam Pasha, fabricated evidence, spreading rumors that Ibrahim was plotting to take the throne for himself. It's a dangerous game, one that could cost you your life if you're found out. But you play it with a cold determination, a fierce desire to protect your children. And then, one night, it happens. The story is a familiar one in the Ottoman world. The Sultan has a close friend, a powerful vizier. He trusts him completely, but the vizier's power grows too great, and the Sultan begins to feel threatened. He invites his friend to dinner, to spend the night. And in the morning, the servants find the man's body, strangled in his sleep. The silence in the palace is deafening. The court is in shock. No one dares to speak of it. Ibrahim Pasha is gone. The man who was once Suleiman's most trusted confidant is now just a memory. His legacy a cautionary tale about the dangers of ambition. Some say it was all part of the Sultan's plan, a calculated move to consolidate his power. But many believe you were the architect of his downfall, the woman who worked from the shadows to remove your greatest rival. The truth is lost to time, but the result is clear. You are now the most powerful person in the empire, and your children's path to the throne is a little less crowded. With Ibrahim Pasha gone, you now hold an unprecedented position of influence. You are no longer just a figure in the background, a beautiful diversion. You are a public figure, a woman with immense wealth and power. And you decide to use that power not for personal luxury, but for the public good. You are a patron of the arts, a builder, a philanthropist. This is a quiet, but powerful way of cementing your legacy. You want the people of the empire to see you not just as a foreign woman, but as a benefactor, a protector of the poor and the sick. You commissioned the great architect Mimar Sinan to design a complex of buildings in Constantinople. The Haseki Sultan complex is a masterpiece of Ottoman architecture. It includes a mosque, a soup kitchen, a school, and a hospital. The hospital, in particular, is a source of pride for you. It's a place where the sick and the poor, regardless of their background, can receive treatment. The soup kitchen provides food for the hungry, and the school gives children a chance at an education. These aren't just buildings. They are a statement. They show the world that you are a true member of the Ottoman family, and that your loyalty is to the people of the empire. You also commission other public works, like a public bathhouse, the Haseki Haram Sultan Hammam. It is a stunning building, with marble and intricate tile work. The bathhouse is a place where people can come to relax, to socialize, to escape the stresses of daily life. It is a place of peace and tranquility, and it is a gift from you to the people of Constantinople. You are a symbol of prosperity and compassion, a woman who came from nothing and is now giving back to the city that gave her a new life. These acts of charity and patronage are a brilliant move. They give you a public reputation that is separate from the intrigues of the palace. The people of the city don't see you as a conniving foreign woman anymore. They see you as a kind and generous queen, a woman who is using her power for good. You are a part of the city, a part of its history, a part of its very fabric. The buildings you commission stand as a testament to your power and influence, a physical manifestation of your legacy. They are also a reminder that you are not just a fleeting figure in the Sultan's court. You are here to stay, and your mark on the city is permanent. Count 1024. The court is in a state of quiet, nervous tension. With Ibrahim gone, the stage is set for a dramatic showdown. On one side, there is Prince Mustafa, the eldest and most popular son. He is the people's choice, the military's choice, the one who is seen as the rightful heir. His mother, Mahidevran, has been with him in the provinces, raising him to be a strong, capable ruler. On the other side, there is your son, Selim. He is not as popular as Mustafa. He is quiet, more studious, and less of a warrior. But he has you, his mother, and you are the most powerful woman in the empire. The tension between the two princes is immense. It's not a rivalry of brothers so much as a rivalry of two completely different futures for the Ottoman Empire. Mustafa represents the past, the traditions, the old ways. Selim represents a new era, one shaped by you and your influence. The court is split, and the Sultan, a man who loves both of his sons, is in an impossible position. He has to choose a successor, and that choice will determine the future of the dynasty. You and your son-in-law, Rustam Pasha, see a clear path. It is a path that requires a brutal, terrible sacrifice. Historians still debate the exact details, but the whispers in the palace, the rumors that spread like wildfire through the streets of Constantinople, all point to the same truth. A plot is hatched, a conspiracy to turn the Sultan against his own son. Letters are forged, rumors are spread. Mustafa is accused of plotting to overthrow his father. The evidence is flimsy, but it's enough to plant a seed of doubt in the mind of a sultan who has already lost one trusted friend to what he perceived as a betrayal. The sultan, heartbroken and conflicted, orders his son to be brought to his tent during a military campaign. The atmosphere is tense, heavy with unspoken dread. Mustafa enters the tent, expecting to greet his father, and instead, he is set upon by a group of silent executioners. He is strangled. His life ended in a matter of moments. The news of his death sends a shockwave throughout the empire. The people are heartbroken. The soldiers are furious. Many of them loved Mustafa, and they saw him as their future. They blame you, the foreign woman, the witch who bewitched the sultan and turned him against his own blood. The truth is lost in the fog of history, but the result is clear. The path to the throne is now wide open for your son, Selim. You have done the unthinkable. You have removed your greatest threat, and you have secured the future of your children. The act is brutal, unforgivable in the eyes of many. But in your mind, it was a necessity. It was a choice between Mustafa's life and the lives of your own children. And you chose your own. With Mustafa's death, the path is clear for your son, Selim. You have won the game, but the victory is a hollow one. The old system is gone, replaced by a brutal new reality, a world where a mother would do anything to protect her children. You have ensured that your bloodline will sit on the throne, but you have also created a precedent for future generations, a kind of terrible prophecy about the dangers of power and ambition. The final years of your life are spent in a kind of quiet triumph. You are the undisputed queen of the palace, the most powerful woman in the empire. You continue your philanthropic work, your charitable endowments, your support of the arts. You are a respected and beloved figure to the people of Constantinople, a woman who came from nothing and built an incredible legacy. You have secured a peaceful future for your family, and you can finally rest. Your health begins to fail. You are an older woman now, your once fiery red hair streaked with white. You have spent your life fighting, scheming, and loving. You have seen your children grow up, and you have seen them rise to positions of power. You have lived a life of immense turmoil and immense triumph. You have no regrets. You know that you did what you had to do to survive, to protect your children, and to make your mark on history. You are in your chamber, lying in bed, the light of the sun streaming through the window. The air is still, fragrant with the scent of jasmine from the garden outside. Suleiman is at your side, holding your hand. The man who was once the most powerful ruler in the world is now just a devoted husband, a man who is watching his greatest love slip away. He is heartbroken, but he is not angry. He knows that you have been his partner, his confidant, his everything. He knows that he would not be the man he is without you. You close your eyes, and you feel the soft silk of the sheets beneath your body, the warmth of your husband's hand in yours. The memories of your life flicker before your eyes, a beautiful, tumultuous tapestry of joy and sorrow. The laughter of your children, the scent of the sea, the feel of the rough linen, the quiet strength of your husband's love. It all comes back to you in a final, peaceful wave. And then there is nothing. The end is not dramatic. It is quiet, gentle, and utterly final. Roxelana, the slave who became a queen, is gone. The Sultan is inconsolable. His court, his family, the entire empire watches in stunned silence as he withdraws into a deep, profound grief. You are gone, and a piece of him is gone with you. The palace is silent. The gardens, once filled with your laughter and the sound of your footsteps, now feel empty and still. The air is thick with the scent of sorrow and regret. He misses your wit, your sharp observations, your unyielding loyalty. He misses the way you made him laugh, the way you challenged him, the way you made him feel not just like a ruler, but like a man. He continues to rule, but a part of his spirit is gone. He is a ghost in his own palace, a shadow of the man he once was. He commissions a beautiful mausoleum for you, a place of peace and beauty where you can rest forever. It is a testament to his love, a final act of devotion to the woman who changed his life and his empire forever. He has the mausoleum built right next to the one he intends for himself, a final act of togetherness in death. The empire continues on, but it is forever changed. Your son, Selim, becomes the new sultan, a man who is a reflection of your ambition and your cunning. He is not a warrior like his father, and he is often known as Selim the Sot, a man who prefers wine and poetry to military campaigns. But he is a ruler, and he is the one who will carry on your legacy. Your daughter, Marima, and your son-in-law, Rustam Pasha, continue to hold immense power. They are your allies, the people who helped you to win the Game of Thrones. And they will continue to influence the court. The Ottoman Empire will continue to prosper for a time, but it will never be the same. The traditions that were once the bedrock of the dynasty have been shattered. The harem, once a quiet, orderly place, is now a center of political power, a place where royal women will continue to pull the strings, to influence the course of history, to play a part in the lives of the sultans. This era, the one that you ushered in, is now known as the Sultanate of Women. It is a period of great political power for royal women, a time when the mothers and wives of sultans will wield immense influence. And you, Roxelana, the foreign woman, the former slave, are the one who started it all. Your legacy is not just your son, or your buildings, or your wealth. It is the very idea of a woman in power, a woman who is not just a ruler by birth, but a ruler by will. You have changed the course of history, and your story will be told for generations to come. And so, your story becomes a part of the vast and intricate tapestry of Ottoman history. The people of the empire, the historians, the poets, they all write about you. The Ruthenian woman, the joyful one. Your name is a source of inspiration, a subject of fascination, and a source of endless debate. Was she a hero, a woman who defied the odds and changed her destiny? Or was she a villain, a ruthless manipulator who would stop at nothing to get what she wanted? The answer, of course, is that she was both. She was a woman of immense strength and immense vulnerability. A person who was forced into a world of quiet cruelty and found a way to not just survive, but to triumph. Your actions, from your love for Suleiman to your plotting against your rivals, have a ripple effect that extends far beyond your own lifetime. The Sultanate of Women that you helped to create will last for more than a century, a period where the royal women of the Ottoman dynasty will hold unprecedented power. The mothers of future sultans will be advisors, diplomats, and patrons of the arts, using their influence to shape the course of the empire. They will build their own complexes, their own mosques, their own schools and hospitals. They will follow the path you blazed for them, a path that was once unimaginable. The world continues to be fascinated by your story. In Europe, your life becomes the subject of operas, paintings, and plays. You are a symbol of the East, a mysterious and powerful woman who has captured the heart of a sultan. The portraits that are made of you are not always accurate. Some show you as a beautiful, exotic temptress. Others show you as a scheming, evil witch. But the real you, The woman who laughed at a joke and wrote a love letter and plotted the downfall of her enemies, is a more complicated and fascinating person than any of them could imagine. And your legacy is not just in the history books. It's in the streets of Istanbul. It's in the Haseki Sultan complex, a place where people still go for medical care and education. It's in the Suleimani Mosque, where your husband's mausoleum stands next to yours, a final, beautiful gesture of love and devotion. Your story is a testament to the power of one person to change everything. A girl from a small village, a slave with no name, a woman who became a queen and a legend. Her life was not a simple fairy tale. It was a brutal, beautiful, and utterly human story, a testament to the fact that a person, no matter where they start, can make their own destiny. And now, as the story settles, let's allow the quiet moments to find you. The air around you is still, and the world outside has hushed. Think of the long journey of that girl named Roxelana, the way she arrived in a new land and found a way to make it her own. You can almost feel the softness of the fabrics she must have worn, the cool touch of the marble floors under her feet. Imagine the scent of the rose water and the sound of the fountains, a gentle, constant melody in the palace gardens. Her story is a reminder of the quiet strength that people can find in the darkest of times, and the way that a single person can change the course of history without ever holding a sword. She wasn't born to rule, but she learned. She wasn't born to be a queen, but she became one. And she did it all with a sharp mind and a fierce, unyielding spirit. As you close your eyes, let the soft words and the quiet images of the past wash over you. The long shadows of the Ottoman Empire, the warm glow of a lantern in a palace corridor, the gentle trickle of water from a fountain. The world of Roxelana is so far away, a dream woven into the fabric of time. The intrigues, the rivalries, the quiet moments of love and laughter, they all belong to the past now. Let the final moments of this story guide you toward a peaceful rest. Let the memory of the strong, quiet woman fade into a gentle, calming image. The world she lived in was loud and turbulent, but her end was one of peace, of love, of quiet. The moon is a soft, pale light in the sky, and all is still. You find yourself waking up in a small, circular room high above the sea. The bed is narrow, the sheets are rough linen, and the air is thick with the scent of salt and lamp oil. It's a perpetual, quiet dampness that seems to cling to everything. The wooden floor, the stone walls, the wool blanket you're wrapped in. The only sound is the persistent, soft hiss of the waves far below, a sound you've come to know so well it's like your own heartbeat. It's a sound that has its own language, from the gentle lapping on calm days to the ferocious roar of a coming storm. Right now, it's a steady sigh, a rhythmic intake and release of breath that promises a quiet dawn. Outside the small porthole window, the sky is still a deep, inky blue. The stars are a sharp, cold dusting against the blackness, and a thin slice of moon hangs low on the horizon, a pale sliver of bone. You can feel the tower itself, a solid column of stone that holds you in its embrace, a little tremor every now and then when a larger wave crashes against the base. The whole structure seems to breathe with the sea, a living thing. Your eyes adjust to the low light. A small, brass lantern sits on a bedside table, its flame turned low to conserve fuel. The glass chimney is smudged with soot, a testament to the night's work. You can smell it, that oily, slightly acrid smell of burning whale or lard oil that powers the main lamp in the lantern room above. It's a scent that permeates every corner of the lighthouse, a constant reminder of your purpose here. It's a smell that promises safety to the sailors out on the dark water. The room is spare and simple, designed for function over comfort. There's a wooden chest at the foot of the bed, a straight-back chair, and a small writing desk with a locked logbook on it. It's everything you need, and nothing more. The quiet here is a living thing, 2. A different kind of quiet from the one you knew on land. It's not an absence of sound, but an absence of distraction, a space where your thoughts have plenty of room to echo. The night is still young, or perhaps it's old. Here, time is marked not by the clock on your wall, but by the light in the sky and the tide's slow turn. You know you have another 2 hours before your next watch begins, so you pull the blanket up higher and try to drift back into that half-sleep. The hiss of the waves, the subtle sway of the tower, and the faint, coppery tang of the sea in the air all combine to create a strange sort of lullaby. It's the sound of a world held together by stone, flame, and the silent watch you keep. The quiet doesn't last long. A faint, distant bell from the lantern room above signals the end of your assistant's watch, a soft and solitary chime that cuts through the darkness. It's your cue to rise. You swing your legs out of the narrow bed, and your bare feet meet the cold stone floor, a shock that sends a little jolt through your body. You slip on your heavy wool trousers and a thick woolen sweater, the fabric rough against your skin. You light the small lamp, and its warm, yellow glow pushes back the shadows in your little room. The air is always cool here, even in the height of summer. It keeps the mind clear, or so they say. You begin your ascent up the winding, spiral staircase. Each step is a well-worn stone, smoothed by generations of keepers before you. The stairs are narrow, and the climb is long, a constant, circling motion. You can hear the rhythmic, mechanical groaning from the machinery above you, the sound of the great lens slowly turning. It's a sound you barely notice anymore, as familiar as your own breathing. The air gets colder as you rise, and you can smell the oil more strongly now, a thick, metallic aroma mixed with the clean scent of the salt air coming in from the open vent at the top of the tower. When you finally reach the lantern room, you find your assistant, a young man with a tired face, standing watch. He nods silently, a shared understanding of the late hour passing between you without words. The great lamp stands at the center of the room, a magnificent, intricate thing of polished brass and glass. It is a work of art, and it is your charge. The Fresnel lens, a colossal, multifaceted contraption, surrounds the lamp, its many prisms and rings catching and bending the light, focusing it into a single, powerful beam. It's a beautiful, hypnotic thing to watch. Your first duty of the morning is to trim the wicks of the oil lamps. The light you see is not a single flame, but a cluster of them, a series of concentric wicks. You use a small pair of shears, a tool you've used so many times your hands know it without thinking. You must be careful to trim them evenly so the flames burn steadily and brightly without smoking. A smoking wick would blacken the glass, and that would diminish the light. After trimming the wicks, you use a small, brass oil can to replenish the fuel, pouring the thick, yellow oil from a large container into the lamp's reservoir. The smell of the raw oil is strong, a sickly sweet, earthy odor that seems to hang in the air for a long time. You finish your tasks, and the assistant gives a final nod before descending the stairs. Now you are alone. It is a quiet, powerful solitude. You stand there for a moment, bathed in the soft, warm light of the lamp, a silent observer in the dark, empty world outside. The creak of the turning mechanism is the only thing that breaks the stillness, a low, groaning complaint of wood and metal. You are the sole living thing in this small, circular world, holding the light steady against the vast and unpredictable dark. The light is a living, breathing thing. It's not just a flame. It's a promise, a steady pulse in the night. The very heart of that promise is the clockwork mechanism that keeps the great lens turning. It's a masterpiece of engineering, a series of heavy metal gears, thick ropes, and enormous lead weights, much like the mechanism in a giant grandfather clock. Every 2 hours, you must wind it. It's a deeply satisfying, physical act. The winding gear is a heavy, cast iron wheel near the floor, and you grip the spokes with both hands, bracing your feet against the stone. With a sharp grunt, you begin to turn. The gears groan in protest, a low, metallic shriek that reverberates through the entire tower. You can feel the tension in the ropes, the immense weight of the lead ballast rising slowly from the depths of the tower's hollow core. It's a test of strength and will, and you do it with a quiet pride. This is a job that demands a strong back as much as a steady hand. As you turn the wheel, you can feel the entire lighthouse vibrate with the effort. You imagine the weights, a long, dark chain of them, slowly climbing up, ready to begin their slow, controlled descent again. This descent is what powers the rotation. The great lens, a beautiful and complex web of glass and brass, sits on a bed of liquid mercury. This allows it to turn with astonishing smoothness, a near-silent rotation that feels like it's floating. You can hear the slightest, soft whisper as it glides around its circular track. But the grinding of the clockwork, the chain rattling inside the walls, that is the tower's true song. With a final, satisfying click, the gear locks. You let go, and the silence returns, broken only by the rhythmic creak of the turning lens. You walk around the circular gallery, inspecting the prisms and the polished brass, looking for any sign of a flaw or a speck of dust. The light catches on the intricate glass, refracting into small, dancing rainbows that play across the walls. A single, errant smudge would weaken the beam, so you carry a soft leather cloth and a bottle of special cleaning solvent, ready to wipe away any imperfections. The scent of the mercury is a faint, metallic odor, a subtle poison that you barely register. It's just another part of the atmosphere here, another detail you've learned to accept without question. You trace the smooth curve of one of the glass prisms with your finger, feeling the cold, perfect surface. This lens, this intricate piece of forgotten technology, is what makes your work so vital. Without it, the light would be little more than a dim candle in the vast expanse of the ocean. It's a brilliant idea made real, and you are its caretaker. You finish your inspection and lean against the cold stone of the wall, looking out at the endless expanse of the ocean. The sky is beginning to lighten in the east, the deep blue fading to a pale lavender. A lone gull cries out, its voice thin and mournful in the still air. The world is waking up, and you are here to see it. It is a solitary, quiet beauty, and you are a part of it. The rhythmic creak of the mechanism is your constant companion, a soft, mechanical pulse that keeps the world safe. The sun rises, and the night's work begins to wind down. With a final, gentle click, you extinguish the main flame, and the intense light in the lantern room softens to a warm, low glow. The great Fresnel lens, no longer alive with concentrated light, becomes a silent sculpture of glass and brass, catching the morning sun and scattering it in small, shimmering fragments across the stone floor. You've done your job. The light is out. But the day's work is far from over. The long hours of daylight are a time for routine, maintenance, and quiet vigilance. You make your way down the winding stairs, the clatter of your heavy boots echoing in the stillness of the tower. Back in your living quarters, you attend to the smaller tasks that keep the whole system running smoothly. The brass on the lantern, the door handles, and the handrails on the stairs must all be polished to a brilliant sheen. The brass is a stubborn metal, and it takes a lot of elbow grease to bring out its shine. You can feel the metal grow warm under your hand as you rub, a small, satisfying warmth. The smell of the metal polish is sharp and acrid, a clean, chemical scent that stands in stark contrast to the salt and oil that normally fills the air. Outside, you tend to the small garden you've managed to coax out of the rocky soil. It's a meager patch, but the radishes and cabbages are a welcome addition to the monotonous diet of dried meat and hardtack. You work the soil with your hands, the rough, sandy earth cool and moist against your skin. You feel the satisfaction of seeing something grow in this harsh, unforgiving environment, a small testament to your will. The wind is a constant presence out here, a soft, steady push against your back, a reminder of the raw power of the ocean. You can hear the distant, continuous murmur of the waves. These are the quiet hours, the moments between the critical tasks of night and day. There's a certain peace in the repetition, in the predictability of it all. There's no rush, no urgency. Each task is a slow, deliberate act, a form of quiet meditation. You can spend an hour just cleaning the sea spray off the outer glass panes, making sure every window is perfectly clear for the night to come. The glass is cold and slick under your hand, and you can see the distorted reflection of your own face. Tired and a little weathered, the silence is punctuated by the occasional cry of a gull or the distant chugging of a passing steamer. Its black smoke a smudge against the horizon. The world goes on out there, a busy, chaotic place that has no bearing on your simple life here. You are a sentinel, a protector, a quiet observer of a world that passes you by. You watch the ships, you feel the sun on your face, and you work with your hands. It's a simple life, a good life. And in these quiet hours, you find a deep, enduring sense of peace. You are not lonely. You are alone. And there is a profound difference. As the day moves toward its midpoint, a small but important task awaits you: the daily logbook. It's a heavy, leather-bound volume, its pages filled with the neat, purposeful script of keepers long past. The logbook is more than just a record. It is the official heart of the Lighthouse, a testament to its silent vigilance. You sit at your small desk, the worn wood smooth beneath your elbows. You unlatch the brass clasp and open the book to a new, clean page. The air smells faintly of old paper and ink. You take a simple pen and a small bottle of black ink. The pen scratches across the rough paper as you record the date, the time, and the general state of the weather. July 12, 1888. Clear skies. Slight breeze from the west. Sea state calm. You write in a simple, direct manner. There is no poetry here, no emotion, just facts. You note the visibility, the temperature, and the wind direction. You record the time you lit the lamp last night and the time you extinguished it this morning. You mention any passing ships, though today there were only a couple of distant schooners, their sails looking like small white triangles on the horizon. The logbook is where you can see the entire history of the Lighthouse unfold. You flip back through the pages, seeing the storms of years gone by, the names of keepers you never knew, their stories condensed into a few simple lines. You see a note from the winter of '76, when a gale kept the relief boat from arriving for weeks, and the keeper simply wrote, "Supplies low, spirits hot." A small, private smile touches your lips. You understand that feeling completely. It's a quiet sort of courage, a stubborn refusal to be broken by isolation. You record any maintenance you've performed, any repairs, any small, insignificant things that are, in fact, the entire substance of your life here. Polished brass on lanterns, greased the clockwork mechanism. The sentences are short, clipped, and to the point. The logbook is a conversation with the outside world, a one-sided dialogue with the inspectors who will come once a year to check on your work. It is a way of saying, "I am here. I am doing my job. The light is burning." It is a record of a life lived by the numbers. A series of simple, repetitive tasks that, when added together, form a single, vital purpose. As you close the book and lock the clasp, you feel a sense of completion. The day is halfway done. The light, the building, the land, everything is accounted for. The rhythm of your life is laid bare on these pages. It is a simple life, yes, but it is not without its own quiet beauty. The logbook is a record of that beauty, a chronicle of the unending battle between light and dark, land and sea. You are the protagonist of this small, simple story, and you write your part with a steady hand. The sun begins its slow descent, and a different kind of hush falls over the sea. The breeze that was a constant companion all day begins to die down. The air cools, and a thin, gray mist begins to gather on the horizon. It's a familiar sight, one that brings a quiet, almost resigned tension with it. Fog, that ethereal, beautiful, and utterly terrifying enemy of sailors. You can feel it in the air, a subtle shift in the dampness, a heavy, still quality that promises a complete lack of visibility. You watch the mist creep closer, a silent, encroaching wall that will soon swallow the world. The distant sound of the waves grows muffled, softened by the dense air. It's a surreal, silent invasion. You know what must be done. The great lamp is the star of the show at night, but in the fog, it is useless. The light cannot penetrate this thick, gray blanket. So you must turn to the lighthouse's other voice, the fog signal. This is a different kind of work. The fog signal is a mechanical marvel in its own right, a great, hissing beast of a machine. It runs on compressed air or steam, and it's your job to get it ready. You descend into the lower levels of the tower, where the machinery is housed. The air here is warmer, stuffier, and smells of hot oil and wet metal. You can hear the low, steady clanking of the machinery that powers it, a different kind of song from the delicate clockwork above. You begin by firing up the coal-fired furnace that heats the boiler. The air fills with the sharp, sooty smell of coal smoke. You hear the rumble of the coals as they catch, the hiss of the steam as it begins to build pressure. The machine is a loud, protesting thing, full of grinding gears and hissing pipes. It's a stark contrast to the quiet elegance of the lantern room. This is a brute force solution to a brute force problem. The fog signal will not whisper to the sailors. It will roar. You check the pressure gauge, your eyes scanning the needle, making sure it climbs steadily toward the mark. You wipe a smudge of soot from your cheek, a small, involuntary gesture. This part of the job is dirty, loud, and dangerous. A mistake here could be catastrophic, but it is necessary. The fog has no mercy, and neither can you. The signal, the lighthouse's second voice, will be a beacon of sound, a loud, clear call that cuts through the silence and the mist, telling the sailors that land is near. You are no longer just a keeper of the light. You are a keeper of the sound. And as the mist finally envelopes the tower, you can feel it, that quiet tension, that powerful weight of responsibility. The world outside is gone. You are alone with a great machine, and you are its master. The fog has arrived. The world outside the lighthouse has shrunk to a few feet of churning, gray nothingness. The light from the lantern room, which usually cuts a swath across the ocean, now just glows in the thick mist, a soft, fuzzy halo that seems to do little more than illuminate the dense air around the tower. The world has been swallowed. It is a strange, disorienting feeling. There is no horizon, no sky, no sea, only the vague, undulating presence of the fog itself. But you have a different voice now, a voice that can cut through this silent, creeping shroud. You've brought the steam pressure up to the correct level, and now it's time to unleash the sound. You stand at a large lever, your hand resting on the cool metal. The pipes hiss and groan around you, and you can feel the warmth of the steam on your face. This is the moment. You pull the lever with a deliberate, firm motion. The sound is a physical thing, a deep, resonant bellow that seems to shake the very foundations of the tower. It's a low, moaning wail, an almost primeval cry that seems to come from the depths of the earth. It is a sound that cannot be ignored. You can feel the sound vibrating in your chest, a deep thrumming that makes the blood in your veins feel like it's humming. The windows rattle, and a fine, cold mist seems to materialize in the air around you. The sound goes on for a long, painful moment before it stops. Then there is silence, a ringing, profound silence that is somehow louder than the sound itself. It is a moment of anticipation, a brief pause before the beast speaks again. You listen, your senses heightened. You wait for the echo, a subtle reverberation that tells you the sound has gone out, that it has reached its intended audience. Then, after a set interval, you pull the lever again. This is your new rhythm. No longer the quiet, turning creak of the lens, but the thunderous, repetitive blast of the foghorn. It's a relentless, mind-numbing repetition that will continue for as long as the fog persists. The noise is a constant companion, a stark, jarring presence that pushes back against the oppressive silence of the mist. You can feel the weariness in your bones already. This is the part of the job that tests your stamina, your resolve, and your sanity. But you know that out there, in the churning gray, there are sailors on 1,000 ships, listening for this very sound. They are listening to your voice. And so you pull the lever again, and the deep, mournful bellow of the foghorn fills the world once more, a single, powerful note of warning and of hope. It is a lonely, thankless task, but it is a necessary one. The sound is your light now, a beacon in the blind. The foghorn continues its mournful, rhythmic cry, a deep-throated bellow that has become the soundtrack to your life. The entire tower groans with each blast, a living thing in conversation with itself. You have been on duty for a full 12 hours now, the night a long, gray blur of noise and repetition. You check the steam pressure one last time, a habitual gesture, before you finally hear the distant chugging of the supply boat. It's a sound you've been listening for, a welcome interruption to the monotony of the fog. The supply boat, the one true link to the outside world. The sound grows louder, a faint thrumming on the water that you can feel more than hear. You go out onto the small landing at the base of the tower, and a faint silhouette appears in the fog. It's the boat, a small, sturdy vessel with a pile of crates on its deck. A man in a thick, oilskin coat waves to you, a small, bright gesture in the gray. You wave back, a wide, genuine wave that feels strange on your face. You haven't had a proper conversation in weeks. The foghorn blasts again, and the man on the boat winces. A sympathetic little grimace that you appreciate. The boat can't dock at the tiny jetty in this weather, so they use a small derrick and a rope to hoist the crates up. You work in a practiced rhythm, the heavy wooden boxes swinging through the air, groaning and creaking as they are raised. The air smells of wet wood and canvas. The men on the boat yell to you, their voices distorted and muffled by the mist. They ask if you need anything, if everything is well. You yell back that you're fine, that the light is working, and the foghorn is a beast. You can hear their laughter, a small, human sound that fills you with a surprising amount of warmth. The crates are full of the things that sustain you: dried meat, flour, coffee, kerosene for the lamps, and a few small packages from the city. The packages are the best part. You can't open them now, not with the foghorn still blasting. You'll wait until the fog clears, until you have a moment of quiet to yourself. One of the crates is a new kind of special lens cleaner, a gift from the Lighthouse board in Washington. It promises a brighter, clearer light. You're skeptical, but you'll try it. The men on the boat are a fleeting presence. You'll share a few words, a few jokes, but they won't stay. Their duty is to deliver, and your duty is to receive. You are two different worlds, separated by a thin, gray curtain of mist. When the final crate is safely on the landing, you give a final wave, and the boat's engine roars to life. It backs away into the fog, and you can only listen to the sound of it fading into the distance. And then it is gone. The quiet returns, a quiet that is no longer empty, but filled with the ghost of a human presence. The foghorn sounds again, a reminder of your duty. You pick up the crates, and a letter falls from one. You pick it up and slip it into your pocket. You can wait a little longer. The warmth of human contact will be a good reward for a job well done. The supply boat is a ghost now, a faint, lingering memory in the silence that returns between the blasts of the foghorn. You've stacked the crates neatly in the base of the tower, and now you can return to your watch. The fog is as thick as ever, a damp, heavy blanket that refuses to lift. You can't help but think about the men on the supply boat, about their world, a world with streets and sounds and other people, a world you've left behind. You decide to ascend to the lantern room for a moment. You just want to be close to the light, even though it's of no use in the fog. You reach the top, and the foghorn blasts from the level below you, a muffled, shaking roar. It's a stark contrast to the quiet of the lantern room itself. Here, in the center of the tower, is the heart of the light. The great Fresnel lens, a colossal sculpture of glass and brass, is the main feature. It sits on a circular track of liquid mercury. This is the innovation that makes the light so powerful. The mercury is in a shallow, circular trough at the base of the lens. It's a silver, liquid mirror, a heavy, beautiful substance that allows the immense weight of the lens to float, to turn with almost no friction. It's a brilliant piece of engineering, but it's also a quiet, insidious danger. The mercury is always there, a low, metallic sheen that you can smell in the air, a faint, coppery aroma that is part of the tower's unique scent. You know, from the occasional pamphlets you've received, that mercury vapor is a subtle poison, but you don't give it much thought. It's a part of the job. You've heard the tales of keepers who became mercury men, their hands shaking, their minds a little unsteady. But you've also seen the light from this lens, a focused, powerful beam that can be seen for miles. The risk is a small price to pay for the safety it provides. You lean down and peer into the trough, watching the liquid mercury ripple slightly with the vibration of the tower. It's mesmerizing, a living silver. You have to strain it regularly, a chore that requires special tools and a strong stomach. You have to keep it clean, free of dust and debris. This is the unseen work, the work that no one but you will ever see. The foghorn blasts again, and the mercury shivers in its trough. The sound is a reminder of the two worlds you inhabit, the quiet, luminous world of the light and the loud, jarring world of the sound. Mercury is the bridge between them, a beautiful and dangerous substance that makes both possible. You feel a strange sense of kinship with mercury. It is a solitary substance, just as you are a solitary person. It is a liquid in a solid world, a thing of strange, unnatural beauty that serves a vital purpose. The light and the sound are your voice, but the mercury is your blood. It is what keeps you going, what keeps the light turning, what keeps the world safe. The fog finally begins to lift. The gray wall thins, and you can see the vague outline of the sea again. You turn off the foghorn, and the sudden, profound silence is a physical sensation, a pressure being released from your head. Your ears ring, and for a moment, the world feels strange and unmoored. It is over. The beast has gone to sleep. You take a moment to stand in the quiet, and you can hear the soft, rhythmic hush of the waves again, a familiar, comforting sound. It is a relief. Now, you finally have a chance to go down to your quarters and open the package from the supply boat. It's a small, heavy box wrapped in brown paper, and you handle it with a childlike excitement. It's not often that you get a gift. The paper is rough against your fingers, and you carefully pull at the twine, not wanting to damage the wrapping. Inside, nestled in a bed of shredded newspaper, is a small, wooden box. You open it, and the smell of fresh, clean wood fills the room. A smell so different from the salt and oil that normally fills the air. Inside the box is a small, polished wooden boat, a perfect miniature of a fishing schooner, complete with a tiny, intricately woven net. It's a work of art. The card inside says, simply, "From your son, Thomas. I miss you." You run your thumb over the smooth wood of the boat, and your eyes burn a little. You haven't seen your son in 2 years. He is a man now, a fisherman a world away. This little boat is a piece of him, a small, tangible piece of a world you barely remember. You place the boat on your small writing desk next to the logbook. It will be a reminder of why you are here, of what you are doing. You do not just tend a light for strangers. You tend it for your son, for his friends, for all the men who sail on the open ocean. You are the reason they can go out on the water and still return home. The boat is a small piece of home brought to you. You look around your quarters. The room is simple, and it's small, but it's all yours. The bed is neat, the floor is swept clean, and the books on your shelf are arranged by size. It is a world of order in a world of chaos. You have a small, wooden stool in the corner and a small, wooden table. A single porthole looks out over the ocean, a circle of blue and gray that changes with the weather. Your quarters are your private space, a small sanctuary where you can be yourself. You are a man who loves his work, but you are also a man who misses his family. The boat is a physical representation of that longing. You pick it up again, and you can feel the small, intricate details of the wood beneath your fingers. It's a piece of art, a piece of your heart. It will be a good companion during the long nights, a silent reminder of the life you live and the life you protect. The nights are long here, longer than any night you've ever known. The sun sets, and you ascend the winding staircase for the last time of the day. You light the lamp, and the great Fresnel lens comes to life, a magnificent, spinning jewel that casts its powerful beam out into the dark. The clockwork mechanism begins its slow, rhythmic creak, and the weights begin their silent descent. You are alone, and the watch begins. The longest nights are the ones when the weather is still, when there is no wind, no rain, no fog, just the quiet. The silence presses in on you, a deep, heavy thing that seems to have a weight of its own. It's in these moments that your mind, which is a surprisingly noisy thing, begins to play tricks. You might hear a faint footfall on the stairs, a whisper in the wind, a sound that isn't there. You've learned to ignore them. They are just the echoes of your own solitude. You find ways to pass the time. You read the books you've brought with you, old, leather-bound novels and books of poetry. The words are a welcome distraction, a way to escape into another world for a little while. You trace the words with your finger, your mind following the story, the characters, the drama. You are a solitary man, but in these books, you find a kind of company. You can spend an hour or two just reading, and the time seems to pass a little quicker. You also have a small box of carving tools. You've taught yourself how to carve small, intricate figures out of a block of wood. It is a meticulous, calming act. The wood is smooth and hard under your hand, and the sound of the carving knife is a quiet, rhythmic scrape. You can spend hours just whittling, your hands busy, your mind clear. You've carved a small flock of gulls, a tiny boat, and a little figure of a keeper, his hands on the wheel of the clockwork. These small figures are your quiet companions, a testament to the fact that you can make something beautiful out of a block of raw wood, just as you have made a good life out of a quiet, solitary existence. The night deepens, and the sea below is a dark, churning mystery. You stand at the center of the lantern room, the lamp hissing softly, the lens turning with its endless creak. You are the heart of this light, the sole human presence. You are not just a man on a rock. You are a sentinel, a protector, a beacon of safety for a world that knows nothing of your existence. You feel a quiet, profound pride in that. The night may be long, and loneliness may be a constant companion, but the light is your purpose, and it shines on. The sound changes. The gentle sigh of the waves turns into a low growl, a deep, menacing roar that seems to come from the very bowels of the earth. The lighthouse, a solid column of stone that has stood for 100 years, begins to feel like a small boat in a great ocean. A storm is coming. You can feel it in the air, that charged, heavy stillness that precedes a gale. The sky turns from a deep, inky black to a bruised and violent purple, and the first fat drops of rain begin to splatter against the glass of the lantern room. You do your rounds, checking the pressure of the oil, making sure the clockwork is wound tight, making sure every last window is secure. The wind begins to howl, a high, piercing shriek that whips around the tower. The entire structure groans and trembles, a deep, protesting vibration that you can feel in your bones. It's not a sound of weakness, but of strength, a sign that the tower is holding its own against the fury of the sea. The waves are no longer small, gentle things. They are mountains, crashing against the base of the tower with a thunderous impact that sends a fine, cold spray of water all the way up to the lantern room. You can't see anything now, not a thing. The wind whips the rain against the glass with such force that it sounds like 1,000 small stones being thrown. The light from the lens, which should be a powerful beam, is distorted and bent by the water on the glass. You must use a special, heavy cloth to wipe the water off, an exhausting, repetitive chore that keeps you busy. You can feel the cold of the glass through your thick gloves. You are a small, solitary figure in a world of chaos and violence, but you are the only thing that stands between the sailors and the rocks. The wind howls a mournful, animal sound. The rain comes down in sheets, and the sea is a churning, chaotic mess of white and black. You can see the lightning in the distance, a silent, flickering flash that illuminates the roiling ocean for a brief, terrifying second. You see a ship in the distance, a small, brave vessel fighting its way through the waves. Your light is its only guide. You are its only hope. The work is physical now. There's no time for quiet contemplation. It's a battle of man against the sea, a struggle to keep the light burning, to keep the lens turning, to keep the promise alive. You wipe the glass, you check the oil, you wind the clockwork again and again. The work is hard, but it is a good kind of hard, a physical reminder of your purpose here. The lighthouse is your fortress, your sanctuary, and you are its guardian. You are not alone. You have the lighthouse. The storm rages on, a relentless assault of wind and rain. The lighthouse groans and shudders, a living thing locked in a brutal struggle. You are a part of that struggle. You are a part of this lighthouse. You find a moment to rest, to catch your breath. You sit on a small stool, your back against the cold stone wall, your eyes closed. The noise is a constant, deafening roar, but in your mind, you can find a quiet place. You think of the people you love, your son, your family, your friends on the mainland. You think of the quiet nights, the gentle sounds, the feeling of the sun on your face. You think of the little wooden boat your son sent you, and you can almost feel its smooth, cool surface in your hand. This is how you survive. You find little moments of quiet in the middle of the storm, little pieces of peace that you can hold on to. You are not just a keeper of the light. You are a keeper of stories. You have stories in your mind, old tales you've read in your books, old songs your mother used to sing to you. You can almost hear her voice, a soft, clear song that cuts through the roar of the storm. The sound of her voice is a comfort, a reminder that there is a world beyond this one, a world of warmth and love. The memories are your anchors, the things that keep you from drifting away in the endless isolation. You think of the men you've known who have lost their minds in this job, the keepers who saw ghosts, who talked to themselves, who stared at the ocean for so long they forgot how to speak to another human being. You understand the temptation. It would be so easy to give in, to just let the storm carry you away. But you have your memories. You have your books. You have your little wooden boat. You have your purpose. The storm will pass. It always does. The light will continue to burn, and the lens will continue to turn. You are a part of something larger than yourself. You are a link in a long, unbroken chain of keepers who have stood here, in this very spot, for 100 years. You are a part of the history of this place. That thought gives you strength. It gives you a quiet, enduring sense of peace. You open your eyes and look out at the chaos. You are not afraid. You are a part of this. The wind and the rain and the waves are a part of you. You are a keeper of the light, and you will not be broken. The lighthouse is a testament to the endurance of man, and you are a testament to the endurance of the human spirit. The light shines on, a single, Powerful beam in a world of darkness and chaos. The storm is finally beginning to break. The wind, which was a constant, howling shriek, begins to die down to a soft, mournful moan. The rain slows to a gentle patter. The sea, which was a churning, chaotic mess, begins to settle into a more rhythmic swell. The light from the lens is no longer distorted by the water on the glass, and its powerful beam can once again cut a clean, powerful swath across the waves. You feel a deep, bone-weary exhaustion, but it is the good kind, the exhaustion that comes from a job well done. The morning is gray, but the sun is a promise, a faint hint of light in the east. You go about your duties, your hands moving on their own, accustomed to the rhythm of the work. You trim the wicks, you replenish the oil, and with a final, gentle click, you extinguish the main flame. The great lens, which was a magnificent, spinning jewel just moments ago, is now a silent sculpture of glass and brass. Its purpose for the night is over. The light is out. You stand there for a moment, bathed in the soft, gray light of dawn. The air in the lantern room is still thick with the smell of oil and salt, but it is a familiar and comforting smell. You can hear the rhythmic sway of the lighthouse, a gentle, rocking motion that lulls you. The sounds of the storm are gone, replaced by the soft, endless hush of the sea. The world outside is returning to its quiet, familiar self. You begin your descent down the winding staircase. Each step is a familiar friend, a well-worn stone that has been under your foot 1,000 times. You feel a sense of peace, a deep, quiet contentment. You have kept the light. You have survived the storm. The world is safe, and you were a part of that safety. You were the quiet sentinel, the man who stood guard while the world slept. Back in your quarters, you can finally allow yourself to rest. You don't get into bed. You simply sit on the small wooden stool, your back against the cool stone, and you close your eyes. The boat your son sent you is on the desk, a small, tangible reminder of a world you have left behind, but a world you protect every night. You can feel the quiet satisfaction of a job well done. You are a keeper of the light, and it is a good life. A simple life, but a good one. The sea and the sky and the light and the dark are your whole world, and you are the master of it. The morning finally arrives, a slow, gentle brightening that pushes back the last shadows of the night. The gray sky lightens to a soft, hazy blue. The sea, which was so violent just hours ago, is now a gentle, rocking swell, a rhythm that is a familiar lullaby. You are tired, but it is a peaceful exhaustion. It's the kind of tiredness that comes from a day of honest work, a day of purpose. You are in your quarters. The world outside is quiet. The only sound is the soft murmur of the waves far below, a sound that has become a part of you. The air is still damp, still smells faintly of salt and oil, but it is a clean, fresh smell that promises a clear day. You don't need to go to sleep now. You've had a long night, and your watch is over. But you feel your eyes beginning to drift closed. The lighthouse is quiet now. The creak of the clockwork is gone. The blast of the foghorn is a distant memory. The light is out. The tower is still. The world is at peace. You can feel the gentle sway of the lighthouse, a soft, rocking motion that is like a mother's embrace. The air is cool and fresh, and you can feel the faint, gentle push of the breeze through the open porthole. You close your eyes and you listen. You hear the faint, distant cry of a gull. You hear the soft, sighing sound of the waves. You hear nothing else. It's a quiet, beautiful silence that is a gift after a long night of noise and chaos. You are a solitary man in a solitary place, but you are not lonely. You are surrounded by the things that you love, the things that you protect. The lighthouse, the sea, the sky, they are all a part of you. You can feel the peace. It is a deep, quiet peace that fills you up. You are safe. The world is safe. The light is out. The world is sleeping, and so are you. Your mind is quiet. Your body is relaxed. The sound of the waves is a soft, comforting whisper, a gentle hand that pushes you toward a deep and dreamless sleep. Let the world turn on. You have done your part. You have kept the light. Now you can rest. Sleep. Have you ever wondered what it was like to wake up in a different time with a different purpose? To live in a world where the quiet scratch of a pen on parchment was a sound of profound importance? Imagine waking up to a world of hushed voices and flickering lamps, where your job was to preserve knowledge one letter at a time. It's a world that feels 1,000 years away, a world of quiet rooms and even quieter work, a world where you are a Roman scribe. You find yourself waking up in a small, cool room. It's not your bed, but a simple pallet on the floor. You're in a Roman villa, a large and sprawling place owned by a wealthy patron. The air is still and a little cool against your skin. The only sound is your own gentle breathing and the very faint, very distant rustle of leaves outside. The sun isn't fully up yet. A pale, milky light is just beginning to creep in through a high window, painting a faint stripe of white on the smooth stone of the floor. You feel the coolness of that floor through the thin wool of your tunic. You stretch, and the simple mat rustles under you. Your muscles are a little sore from a long day yesterday, a long day of sitting bent over a wooden desk. You know what today will bring. More of the same. More quiet, more focus, more work. You sit up slowly. The room is a little antechamber, not much bigger than your pallet, and it opens up into the scriptorium. The scriptorium is where you work and live. It's a large, well-lit room, and even in this dim light, you can see the shapes of the tall wooden carrels. These are the desks where you and the other scribes sit. They're like little private boxes, designed to keep you separate and focused. There's a quietness here that feels different from the rest of the villa. It's a deliberate quiet, a stillness that has been cultivated over generations. You can smell the scriptorium. It's a distinct mix of old smells. The faint scent of wood smoke from a hearth somewhere, the sharp smell of fresh parchment, the earthy, slightly metallic tang of ink. And under it all, the cool, dusty scent of a room that has held books and scrolls for a very long time. It's the smell of knowledge, of history. And for you, it's the smell of home. You push yourself up to a standing position. Your feet feel the cool, polished stone. The silence of the room feels like a deep breath, like the start of a long day that will be made up of thousands of tiny, perfect moments. The world is just starting to wake up, but your world, the world of the scribe, has been ready all along. It's waiting for you. The first thing you do is not to start work, but to prepare for it. You leave your small sleeping area and walk into the main part of the scriptorium. The light from the high windows is stronger now, and you can see the details of the room. The shelves along the walls are filled with hundreds, maybe thousands of scrolls. Some are neat and new, tied with string and carefully labeled. Others are older, a little frayed at the edges, their labels faded. They look like they've been read and reread many times. You pass your hand over the smooth, cool surface of a large wooden chest. This is where the tools of your trade are kept. You lift the heavy lid. Inside, you see bundles of cut papyrus, stacks of blank parchment, and a small, lidded pot filled with ink. You pull out a few things. First, a thin, flat stone for sharpening. Then, a couple of new reed pens. The pens are just simple reeds, cut at an angle to create a fine point. You sit down on a low stool near the window. You take one of the reeds and begin to whittle at it with a small knife, shaping the point with careful, precise strokes. The shavings fall onto the stone floor, silent and feathery. You hear a soft scratching sound as you smooth the point on the sharpening stone. You have to be careful not to make the point too sharp, or it will snag and tear the papyrus. Too blunt, and the letters will look clumsy and fat. It's a delicate balance. You find the perfect point, and then do the same with a second reed, just in case. Next, the ink. You lift the small pot. Inside, the ink is a deep, dark black. It's made from a mixture of soot, gum Arabic, and water. It smells a little like something burned, a faint, earthy aroma. You use a small, wooden stir stick to mix it, making sure there are no lumps. Sometimes the ink is too thick and you have to add a few drops of water. Other times it's too thin and you have to let it sit a while. You get it just right, and then you lay out your pieces of papyrus. The papyrus feels a little stiff and rough under your fingers, like thick paper made of woven straw. You lay out several sheets, overlapping them slightly, ready to be joined together to form a long scroll. Your daily rituals are small and simple, but they are important. They are the moments that connect you to the work. It's the time you spend alone with your tools, preparing your mind and your body for the task ahead. It's a kind of meditation, a quiet moment of focus before the real work begins. The light in the room is brighter now. The first rays of the sun have found their way to the floor, creating a warm, golden pool. You feel that warmth on your skin. You can hear the distant, faint sounds of the villa waking up. A dog barks in the distance, the sound of a door closing. But here, in the scriptorium, it's still silent. You have a brief, simple breakfast. A piece of dry bread and a little water. You eat quickly, chewing the hard bread slowly. You feel the day settling into your bones. The calm, quiet rhythm of a day dedicated to work, to preservation, to the silent act of copying. It's a good feeling, a feeling of purpose. You finish your water, wipe your hands on your tunic, and prepare to take your place. You know the exact spot you'll sit, the exact text you'll be working on. The world outside may be full of chaos and noise, but here, in this quiet room, everything is orderly. Everything has its place. Everything has its time. The time for preparation is over. The time for work is about to begin. You feel a gentle readiness, a sense of peace that comes from knowing exactly what you're meant to do. You stand up, your hands clean, your tools ready, and you walk over to your corral, your small, personal space in this vast world of knowledge. You sit down at your corral. It's a tall, wooden desk, shaped like a box with one side open. The sides are high enough to block out the view of the other scribes, giving you a sense of privacy. Your seat is a hard, flat bench. It's not a chair you could lean back in, but that's by design. The posture for a scribe is straight and upright, a position that encourages focus and discourages napping. The top of the desk is angled slightly, a perfect slope for writing on a papyrus scroll. You feel the smooth, worn wood under your hands. It has a slight sheen from years of use, from the hands of countless scribes who sat here before you. You can almost feel their presence, their patient, quiet concentration. Your corral has a few small shelves. On one, you have your ink pot, a small sponge for cleaning your pen, and a little piece of pumice for smoothing the surface of the papyrus. On another, there's a stack of blank sheets and a few finished pages from the scroll you're working on. The air in this little box feels a little warmer, a little more personal than the rest of the room. It's your world for the day. You reach for the scroll you've been working on. It's a long one, a history of Rome, written by a famous historian. It's a text your patron is very proud of. You unroll it carefully, laying the finished part to your left and the part you'll be copying today to your right. The scroll is made of long sheets of papyrus glued together, and you have to handle it with care so as not to tear it at the seams. The source text, the master copy you are replicating, is right in front of you. It's a beautiful piece of work, written in a clear, elegant hand by a master scribe. The letters are perfectly formed, and the lines are straight. You study it for a moment, taking in the beauty of the work. You've been trained since you were a boy to copy this kind of writing. You know the exact angles, the precise curves, the way the ink should swell at the top of a letter and thin out at the bottom. It's not just copying. It's an art form. You take a deep breath. The scent of the ink pot is stronger now. You pick up your prepared reed pen and dip it into the black ink. The ink coats the tip, a dark, gleaming bead. You wipe the excess off on the rim of the pot. Now you begin. You place the pen on the blank papyrus. The first letter is a large, ornate capital P. You start at the top, pressing the pen down gently to make a thick line. Then, you lift the pen and draw a curving arc, ending in a delicate point. The ink flows smoothly from the nib. You hear the faint, satisfying sound of the pen scratching against the papyrus fibers. Scritch, scritch, scritch. It's a dry, soft sound, and it's one of the most comforting sounds you know. It's the sound of work, of progress, of history being preserved. You move your hand slowly, carefully, forming each letter. The first word is populace, the Roman people. You write it out, letter by letter. You have to focus completely. One mistake, and you can ruin a whole line. A big mistake, and you might have to redo an entire sheet. The work is slow. It's not a race. It's about perfection. You focus on the shape of each letter, the spacing between words. You check your work against the original, making sure you haven't missed a single detail. It's a quiet, intense concentration. Your mind is completely focused on the task. The rest of the world fades away. The distant sounds of the villa, the gentle light from the windows, even the faint ache in your back, they all recede. There is only the papyrus, the pen, the ink, and the beautiful, silent words that you are bringing back to life. This is the inner sanctum of the scribe. This is your world, and it feels exactly right. You've been at it for what feels like a very long time. The sun has climbed higher in the sky, and the light that filters through the window is now a bright, direct white. You can see the tiny, almost invisible fibers of the papyrus and the subtle sheen of the drying ink. Your hand is starting to cramp a little. You flex your fingers, shaking them out gently before returning to work. The rhythmic scritch of your pen is a steady, constant companion. It's a soothing sound in its way, a quiet, almost hypnotic rhythm that helps you stay focused. You're working on a particularly dense passage now, one describing a complex political alliance. The names are long and unfamiliar, and the sentences are structured in a way that requires careful attention. This is a different kind of work from copying a simple narrative. Here, accuracy is paramount. You must not only copy the letters, but you must understand the flow of the text enough to know if you've made a mistake. You read a few words ahead, then write them down, then read a few more. It's a continuous, careful process. You check the spelling of a senator's name, then double-check the date of a particular treaty. Some historians think that this kind of meticulous copying was the foundation of all scholarship for centuries to come, a silent, unsung labor that kept knowledge from being lost forever. You feel the weight of that responsibility in your hands. A single, misplaced letter could change the meaning of a whole sentence, a whole paragraph, a whole history. You finish a line, then another. The ink on the page is a rich, dark black. On some of the older scrolls you've worked on, the ink has a reddish-brown tone, faded with time. But the ink you use today is fresh and vibrant. You finish a page and carefully set it aside to dry. Then you take a new blank sheet of papyrus and start again. You've developed a kind of rhythm over the years, a cadence to your work. It's not about speed, but about consistency. You write at a slow, even pace. You don't rush. You don't try to get ahead of yourself. You just keep going, one letter after another. You feel the cool breeze from the window on your face, a welcome sensation. You can hear the faintest sounds of life outside the scriptorium. A bird singing, a cart rumbling somewhere in the distance. But they don't distract you. They just remind you that the world is still there, still moving. While you are here, still and focused, you come across a sentence that's a little strange. The wording seems a bit off. You look at the master copy. Was this an error by the original scribe? Or is this how it was supposed to be? It's a small detail, but it bothers you. You consider making a slight correction, changing the word to one that makes more sense. But no, your job is not to interpret or to improve. Your job is to copy exactly what is there. To preserve the text as it was written, flaws and all. To do anything else would be a betrayal of your task. So you copy the sentence as it is, strange wording and all. You feel a small moment of frustration, but you push it aside. It's not your place to question. It's your place to preserve. You are about to start a new section of the text, and you have to create a new capital letter. These are often the most difficult part of the job. They are not just letters. They are miniature works of art. You have to be careful with the pressure of the pen, with the thickness of the lines, with the ornate curls and decorations. You take a deep breath, dipping your pen in the ink one more time. You feel a sense of calm returning to you. This is the challenge. This is the moment you have been working towards. The beautiful, quiet challenge of perfect work. You begin to draw the curves of the letter C, and the day continues to unfold, one letter at a time, one scratch of the pen at a time. It's not glamorous work. It's not heroic, but it is important. You know it is. And that is all that matters. Just as you're starting to get lost in the flow of the text, you hear footsteps outside the scriptorium. The sound is different from the light padding of other scribes or the occasional shuffle of a servant. These footsteps are heavier, and they stop right at the entrance. The light from the doorway is momentarily blocked, and you look up from your work. It's your patron. He's a wealthy man, with a thick toga and an air of importance. He has a scroll in his hand, a new one. Your stomach tightens just a little. When the patron comes, it means a new task, a new demand for perfection. He nods to you, his eyes scanning the room, his gaze resting on the other scribes before returning to you. He doesn't say anything, but you know what he wants. He wants to know you're working hard. He wants to know his investment is paying off. He walks over to your corral, and you stand up, bowing your head in respect. You can smell the scent of expensive perfume and the faint aroma of fresh food on his breath. How is the history coming along? He asks, his voice a little louder than the normal hushed tones of the scriptorium. It proceeds, Dominus. You say, using the respectful title. The work is careful and accurate. He nods, satisfied. Good. The historian is quite particular about this. It must be perfect. He unrolls a small part of the new scroll in his hand. It's bound with a thin piece of purple ribbon, which suggests a text of importance. I have a new text for you, he says. It is a new play by a very well-regarded poet. A comedy. It must be copied with haste. There is a deadline. The poet himself wants to read it at a dinner party next week. Your heart sinks a little. Haste is a word you don't like. Haste means mistakes. Haste means rushing the beautiful, quiet work you do. It means sacrificing a little bit of the perfection for the sake of speed. You look at the text he's holding. The handwriting is a little spidery, a little messy. It looks like it was written in a hurry. You know this will be a challenge. It's not the same as a clean, elegant text from a master scribe. You'll have to decipher some of the words, to guess at the meaning behind some of the scribbles. It will be a new kind of frustration, but you don't say this. You simply nod. I will begin as soon as I finish the history, Dominus. He nods, and you take the new scroll from him. It feels a little different from the other scrolls you've worked on. It's a newer papyrus, still a little stiff and unyielding. The scent of the ink is still fresh on it. Your patron leaves, and the silence returns to the room, a little heavier than before. You sit back down and unroll the comedy scroll. You look at the first page. It's filled with dialogue, with the names of the characters scrawled in the margins. It will be a different kind of challenge. You can't just copy. You have to be a little more involved, a little more engaged with the text. You will have to read the play as you copy it, to understand the flow of the dialogue, the rhythm of the jokes. You feel a familiar mix of dread and excitement. Dread because of the deadline, excitement because it's something new, something different. It's a break from the monotonous, quiet work you've been doing for months. It will be a welcome change of pace, even with the added pressure. You put the new scroll aside for a moment, and you go back to the history. You've got a few more pages to finish before you can start the new task. The quiet rhythm returns. The scritch of your pen on the papyrus. The scent of the ink. The cool, still air of the scriptorium. You feel a sense of calm return to you. The patron and his demands are gone. The world is back to its normal, quiet hum. You can handle the pressure. You've done it before. You will do it again. You are a scribe. This is your life. And it's a good one. A little stressful, perhaps, but a good one. You take a deep breath and start to copy the next sentence. It's about a battle, about the formation of the Roman legion. It's a beautiful description, full of sharp, clear words. You lose yourself in it, and the world outside the scriptorium fades away once again. The sun has reached its peak, and you can feel the warmth on your back. The light from the high windows is now a brilliant white, illuminating the tiny dust motes that hang in the still air. You've been working for hours, and the quiet rhythm of the day is a deep part of you now. You've finished your first shift of the day. It's time for a small break, a midday interlude. You stand up, stretching your back and your shoulders. The muscles are stiff from hours of being hunched over. You feel the cool air on your skin, a welcome relief. The other scribes around you are also beginning to stir. Some stand up and stretch. Others remain seated, their heads still bent over their work. Everyone has their own rhythm, their own way of working. You walk away from your corral and toward a small alcove in the corner of the room. It's where the scribes keep a small pot of water and a basket of bread. The meal is simple. A few pieces of hard, dry bread, a little bit of cheese, maybe an olive or two if you're lucky. You pour a cup of water from a large clay jar. The water is cool and a little earthy. It's a refreshing taste on your dry tongue. You sit on a low stool and eat your bread slowly, chewing the hard crust, savoring the simple flavor. You listen to the sounds of the villa now. They are more present than they were in the morning. You can hear the voices of the servants, a little louder now, a little more animated. The faint clang of a hammer from a distant workshop. The sound of children playing in a courtyard, their laughter a bright, clear sound that cuts through the stillness of the air. You are a part of this villa, but you are also separate from it. You are a worker, but you are also an intellectual. You are a craftsman, but your craft is not of stone or wood, but of words. You feel the weight of this distinction, and you appreciate the quiet solitude of the scriptorium. The work you do is a kind of sanctuary from the everyday noise of the world. It's a place where you can be alone with your thoughts, with the beautiful silence of the text you are copying. You finish your meal, wiping your hands on your tunic. You feel a little more refreshed, a little more ready for the rest of the day. You walk back to your corral, and you see that a new text has been placed on your desk. It's a small scroll, and it's not bound in the usual way. It's just rolled up, and there's a small note tied to it. The note is in a messy, quick handwriting. It's from your patron. He's heard that a visiting scholar has a copy of a rare book, a treatise on engineering by a famous Greek philosopher. He wants you to make a copy of it. He wants a new, clean version for his library. He says the scholar is only here for a few days, so you must work quickly. You feel a familiar pressure, a familiar sense of dread. The deadlines are piling up. The play, and now this. You unroll the small scroll. The papyrus is old and thin, and it smells of dust and dry air. The writing is in Greek. You can read Greek, of course. It was part of your training. But it's a dense, technical text, full of strange diagrams and complicated formulas. You feel a new kind of frustration. This isn't a story or a poem. This is knowledge, pure and simple, and it must be copied with absolute precision. A single misplaced line in a diagram could make the whole thing worthless. You feel a deep breath of disappointment. You had hoped to finish the story and start the play, but the patron's wishes are your command. You place the new scroll on your desk and you sit down. You take a moment to look at the new text. It is a work of genius, you know, a work that has survived for centuries, and now it is in your hands. You feel the weight of that. You are the keeper of this knowledge, the one who will ensure it survives for another generation. You feel the pride swell in your chest. It's a strange feeling, this mix of frustration and pride. You are a simple scribe, a copyist, a man who sits in a quiet room all day, but you are also a part of something much bigger than yourself, a part of a long, beautiful chain of knowledge. And that, you realize, is a pretty good feeling. The afternoon is a long, slow grind. The sun has moved past its highest point, and the light in the scriptorium is softer now, a warm, golden hue. Your back aches. Your eyes feel heavy, and your hand, which has been holding the pen for hours, feels a little numb. You've been working on the new scroll, the Greek treatise on engineering. It's difficult work. The diagrams are a puzzle. You have to use a ruler and a compass to copy them, and you have to be absolutely precise. 1 millimeter off, and the whole diagram could be wrong. You have to dip your pen in the ink pot 100 times a day. The gentle plink of the reed on the ceramic is steady, comforting sound. You can feel the ink drying on your fingers, a faint, dark smudge that you can never quite wash off. It's the mark of your trade, your daily reminder of the work you do. The sounds of the villa have changed with the time of day. The children's laughter has faded. The hammer from the workshop is silent. Now, there are different noises. The soft murmur of voices from a nearby garden, a quiet conversation between a man and a woman. The faint sound of music from a lyre, a soft, beautiful melody that drifts in through the high windows. It's a peaceful sound, but it's also a little distracting. You have to push it away to focus on the lines, the angles, the intricate details of the diagrams. This is the hardest part of the day, this slow, weary push toward the finish line. Your concentration isn't as sharp as it was in the morning. Your mind wants to wander. It wants to think about other things. About the dinner you'll have tonight. About the conversations you'll have with the other scribes. About the cool night air that will fill the room when the sun goes down. You finish a particularly difficult diagram. It's a complicated set of pulleys and levers designed to lift a heavy stone. You look at your copy and you look at the original. They are identical. You feel a small surge of satisfaction. This is the reward of your work. This feeling of quiet, perfect accomplishment. It's not a loud, boisterous kind of victory. It's a small, private one. You can feel it in your bones, in the tired muscles of your hand. You've done something difficult, something that few people in the world can do. You've preserved a piece of knowledge, a work of genius, for all time. The thought gives you a fresh burst of energy. You straighten your back, take a deep breath, and dip your pen in the ink pot again. You start on the next section of the text. It's a description of how to build a water wheel, a series of precise measurements and calculations. You find yourself absorbed in the work. You are no longer just a copyist. You are an engineer in your mind. You can see the wheel turning, the water flowing, the gears grinding. You feel a sense of connection to the man who wrote this, to the brilliant mind that conceived of these machines. This is the true magic of the scribe's life. You get to live in the minds of others. You get to walk in their footsteps. You look out the window. The sun is lower now, and the light is a softer, more orange hue. The shadows in the room are long and thin. The other scribes around you are still working, their heads bent over their desks. The only sounds in the room are the soft scritch of 100 pens, 100 stories and philosophies and poems being copied, page by page, letter by letter. It's a symphony of silence, a quiet chorus of work. You feel a sense of belonging, a sense of shared purpose. You are not alone in this. You are a part of a long, unbroken chain of knowledge, a silent army of preservation. And it is a good feeling. It's a feeling of peace, a feeling of meaning. The long afternoon is almost over. The long day is coming to a close. But there is still a little work to do. And you are ready for it. The sun is low in the sky, casting long, dramatic shadows across the scriptorium floor. The cool marble you felt this morning is now a little warmer from the afternoon sun. The air has a subtle change to it, a shift from the bright heat of the day to the approaching calm of the evening. It's the time of day when a different kind of work begins for you. The kind of work that involves handling the most precious and fragile of texts. Your patron has brought out a new scroll for you to copy. It's not new work. It's an old one, an ancient one. A poem written by a long-dead poet whose name is now little more than a whisper. The scroll is kept in a special, sealed wooden box, and when you open it, you can smell the faint, sweet scent of cedarwood. You lift the scroll out carefully. It's a small thing, rolled up tightly, and it feels as light as a feather in your hands. But you know its true weight. You unroll it with the utmost care. The papyrus is so thin and brittle that you can almost see through it. It has the pale, yellowish-brown color of something that has seen many, many centuries. You feel its texture under your fingers. It's not smooth like the new papyrus. It's rough and a little dusty, a little like the skin of an old man. You can see the faint, almost invisible cracks in the papyrus, the places where it might tear if you are not careful. Some of the edges are frayed, and the ink in some places has faded to a pale, almost invisible brown. This is a text that has lived a long life. You can see the care that the original scribe took with it. The handwriting is beautiful, but it's not as perfect as a master copy. There are a few smudges, a few places where the ink bled a little. You can almost feel the presence of that long-dead scribe. You can see his hands, his weary eyes, his quiet concentration as he worked in a room just like this one, 1,000 years ago. You feel a sense of connection, of kinship with him. You are doing the same work, carrying the same torch. You are a link in an unbroken chain of preservation. You are the keeper of his legacy. You dip your pen in the ink pot, and you begin to copy. You work even more slowly than you normally do. Every line, every word, every letter is a sacred trust. You hold your breath sometimes, as you form a difficult curve or a complicated letter. You worry about tearing the fragile papyrus. You worry about a stray drop of ink ruining the ancient text. It's a stressful kind of work, but it's also the most rewarding. You feel like you are not just copying words, but you are breathing new life into them. You are giving them a new body, a new chance to be read and understood by people in the future. The sun is dipping below the horizon now, and the light in the scriptorium is a deep, warm orange. The air has grown cooler, and the shadows are long and thick. You feel a quiet satisfaction as you work, a sense of accomplishment. You've been at it all day, and you've made good progress. The Greek treatise is almost finished, and the new copy of the ancient poem is coming along beautifully. You are tired, but it's a good kind of tired, a weariness that comes from a long, productive day. It's not a feeling of exhaustion, but of completion. You can feel the weight of your work in your hands. You look at a finished page, a section of the poem you just completed. The lines of poetry are perfectly straight. The letters are clean and crisp. You feel a little surge of pride. You did that. Your hand did that. It's a small thing, but it's a beautiful thing. A well-formed capital letter. A line of text that is perfectly spaced. The words themselves are beautiful, but they are made more beautiful by the care with which they are written. You run your finger over the page, feeling the raised surface of the ink. It's a small, intimate moment of satisfaction. It's a reminder of why you do this work. It's not just about copying. It's about creating something beautiful. The scriptorium is a quieter place now. Most of the other scribes have finished their work for the day. You can hear them getting ready to leave. The soft shuffle of their feet, the quiet murmur of their voices as they say goodnight. They are heading to the dining room, to the garden, to their small living quarters. But you are not ready to leave yet. You have a few more things to do, a few more lines to copy, a few more details to check. You are a part of a long tradition of scribes who worked long into the evening, their minds and hands devoted to the preservation of knowledge. You finish the last line of the section you're working on. You put the pen down on your desk. The little clack of the wood against the smooth stone is a small, final sound. You feel a sense of release, a sense of quiet triumph. The day's work is done. You carefully roll up the scroll you've been working on, and you tie it with a small piece of string. You label it with the title and the date. You place it on a shelf with the other finished scrolls. It's a small library of your own making, a testament to the long hours you've spent in this room. You can feel the weight of all that work, the quiet, tireless labor of a lifetime. You look around the room. The shadows are deep now, and the details of the scrolls on the shelves are fading. The faint scent of the ink and the papyrus is still in the air. You feel a sense of peace settle over you. This room is a sanctuary, a place of order and purpose in a chaotic world. It's where you belong. It's where you have found your purpose. You feel a deep, quiet gratitude for the work you do. It's not glamorous, it's not heroic, but it is important. It is essential. You feel a familiar, peaceful calm washing over you. The day is done. The night is here, and you have done good work. You have done the work of a scribe, and you have done it well. The day is officially done, but your work isn't quite finished. There are a series of small, quiet rituals you must perform to prepare for the next day. These are not about the copying itself, but about the tools of the trade. They are a kind of quiet meditation, a way of bringing the long day to a peaceful close. You first take your reed pens. The tips are a little dull from a day of work, and they are stained with black ink. You take them over to the sharpening stone, and you begin to gently whittle at them, shaping the points, preparing them for the morning. The tiny shavings fall silently onto the floor. It's a simple, repetitive task, but it feels good to do. It feels like you are caring for the tools that care for you. You are a craftsman, and you must care for your tools. Next, you attend to the ink. The ink pot is a little low now, so you must mix a new batch. You take a little pot of soot, a little pot of gum arabic, and a little pot of water. You mix them together, stirring with a small wooden stick. The mixture is thick and dark. It smells of earth and soot. You stir it until it is a perfect, smooth consistency, a perfect black. You cover the pot, and you set it aside. It will be ready for you in the morning, a dark, silent promise of the work to come. You rinse out your small water bowl, and you lay out a few blank sheets of papyrus, ready for the first copy of the morning. You smooth them with your hand, feeling the rough, fibrous texture under your fingers. They are a blank canvas, waiting for you to bring them to life. As you work, you can hear the sounds of the villa change. The quiet murmur of the other scribes is gone now. The sounds of the dinner hall are fading. The house is still growing. You can hear the faint, distant sound of a harp playing a soft, slow melody. You can hear the gentle rustle of the wind in the leaves outside. The air in the scriptorium is cool now, and the scents of the day, the ink, the papyrus, the old wood, are a little fainter, a little softer. You feel a deep, quiet sense of peace. You are alone in this room, a keeper of knowledge, a silent guardian of the past. The evening rituals are a way of shedding the day, of washing away the fatigue and the stress. It's a way of setting the stage for a new day, a new beginning. It's a way of letting go of the small mistakes you made, the letters that weren't quite perfect, the lines that were a little crooked. You are human, and you make mistakes. But tomorrow is a new day, a new start, a new chance to do better. You finish your tasks, and you walk around the room one last time. You look at the shelves of scrolls. Some are new and clean, a bright testament to the work of the scribes. Others are old and worn, a testament to the long, long journey they have taken through time. You can feel the history of the room, the thousands of hours of quiet labor, the thousands of hands that have touched these scrolls. You feel a sense of belonging, a sense of being a part of something bigger than yourself. You are a small, quiet part of a long, beautiful story, the story of knowledge, the story of history, the story of a scribe. You walk back to your small sleeping pallet. The room is dark now, save for the faint glow of the oil lamps that have been lit in the corners of the room. The light is soft and golden, and it casts long, dancing shadows on the walls. You feel a sense of calm. The day is over. The work is done, and the world can wait until morning. You are ready for sleep. You are ready for rest. The scriptorium is a new place now, The sun is gone, and the room is lit only by the soft, flickering light of a few oil lamps. The lamps are small, simple clay vessels with wicks floating in a pool of oil. They give off a warm, golden glow, and they cast long, dancing shadows on the walls and the floor. You can hear the gentle, soothing sound of the oil lamps, a quiet hiss as the oil is consumed. The smell is different now, too. It's the scent of the burning oil, a subtle, smoky aroma that hangs in the still air. It's a smell of peace, a smell of quiet contemplation. You sit on your small pallet, watching the light. It's a beautiful sight. The light illuminates the scrolls on the shelves, making them look like silent, golden treasures. It illuminates the desks, the tools, the small, quiet world you live in. You can see the shapes of the other scribes in the dim light. They are all sleeping now, their bodies a long, still line of peace. The room is completely silent, save for the gentle hiss of the oil lamps and the faint, rhythmic sound of your own breathing. You feel a deep sense of stillness, a sense of quiet. The sounds of the villa have faded completely. The voices are gone. The music is gone. The laughter is gone. The world outside is asleep. But here, in the scriptorium, there is a quiet, watchful presence. The scrolls are sleeping too, but they are not truly asleep. They are waiting for the light of morning, for the hands of the scribes, for the life that will be breathed into them again. They are a silent testament to the long, beautiful history of knowledge. You think about the day, the cool air of the morning, the bright light of the midday sun, the long, slow grind of the afternoon, the quiet peace of the evening. It was a good day. You copied a history, a Greek treatise, and an ancient poem. You handled delicate, fragile scrolls. You sharpened your pens and mixed your ink. You did the work of a scribe. You feel a deep, abiding sense of purpose, a sense of being a small, vital part of a long, long story. The light of the lamps flickers a little, and you can see the dancing shadows on the ceiling. They look like strange, ghostly dancers, a silent, beautiful show just for you. You pull the thin wool blanket up to your chin. It's a little scratchy, but it's warm. The air in the room is cool and fresh, and it smells of old scrolls and burning oil. It is the perfect scent for sleep. You feel a deep sense of calm, a sense of peace. You are not just a scribe. You are a guardian. You are a keeper of history, and you are a part of the long, beautiful story of mankind. You close your eyes. The images of the day come to you. The dark ink on the pale papyrus. The intricate lines of the Greek diagrams. The beautiful, looping curves of the Roman letters. The fragile, ancient feel of the old scroll. The steady, soothing scritch of your pen. The warm, golden light of the oil lamps. The quiet, peaceful air of the scriptorium. You feel your body relax. Your breathing slows. The world outside is asleep. And you are here, in the heart of knowledge, in the heart of peace. You are a scribe, and you are home. The night air is cool against your skin. A gentle breeze has started to rustle through the high windows, bringing with it the faint scent of night-blooming jasmine from the villa gardens. You are still, and the world is still around you. The oil lamps continue their quiet hiss, their flames dancing and casting long, slender shadows that sway and stretch like ghostly figures on the walls. It is a quiet world, a private one, and it feels as though you are the only one awake to witness it. A new sense of peace washes over you, a quiet calm that is different from the daytime's focused concentration. This is the peace of rest, of being a human being simply existing in the dark, with nothing to do but breathe and be. Your thoughts drift. You think about the day's work, but not with the focused scrutiny of a scribe. Instead, you recall the feeling of it, the cool, smooth surface of the marble floor under your feet in the morning, the warmth of the midday sun on your back, the quiet rustle of new papyrus. You remember the feeling of the heavy master scroll, full of 1,000 years of history, and the way it felt in your hands, full of a weight you couldn't quite name. It's a beautiful memory. It's the memory of a day well spent, a life well lived. The air has a different scent now, a little damp, a little earthy. It must have rained earlier, a quick, cleansing shower that is now just a memory of the cool night air. The sound of the wind through the windows is a soft, soothing whisper, a quiet lullaby that seems to hum a story just for you. You are a part of a long, unbroken chain of people who worked with their hands and their minds. You are a part of a long line of scribes, of scholars, of philosophers, of historians. And you know that you are not just copying words. You are a keeper of stories, a guardian of the past, a silent hero of knowledge. The feeling of the day's work remains in your fingers, a faint phantom ache that is a comforting reminder of your purpose. You close your eyes again, and the world recedes. The flickering lights of the oil lamps, the faint scent of the night breeze, the silent presence of the sleeping scrolls. They all fade into a soft, warm darkness. You are not a king. You are not a soldier. You are not a general. You are just a man with a pen and a piece of papyrus. And that is all you need to be. It is enough. It is more than enough. The world is a quiet place now, a place of rest and sleep. You can let yourself go. There is nothing left to do. The night is long, and the dreams will be sweet. A long, quiet day has come to an end, and a long, quiet night has just begun. The quiet of the scriptorium deepens. The sounds of the night outside have faded to a soft whisper, a gentle rustle of leaves that is almost imperceptible. The world is truly asleep now, and you, a quiet guardian of the past, are ready to join it. Your mind is quiet. Your body is still. You feel a deep, abiding peace settle over you. A peace that comes from a day of honest work, a day of quiet purpose. You are a part of something beautiful, something enduring, and you are tired. A good kind of tired. A restful kind of tired. The air in the room is a little cooler now, and you pull the blanket up higher, feeling its simple warmth against your cheek. The scent of burning oil and old papyrus is a comforting presence. It is the scent of home. It is the scent of your life. You think of the scrolls on the shelves, sleeping soundly in the dark. They are a silent library of dreams, of ideas, of stories waiting to be told again. You are their keeper. You are their guardian. And you are their friend. You have preserved them, given them a new life, and now you will let them rest. Just as you will. You can almost feel the presence of all the scribes who came before you, and all the scribes who will come after. A long, beautiful line of quiet, patient people, all sitting in rooms just like this one, all preserving the long, beautiful story of mankind. You are a part of that story, and it is a good one. You feel your breathing slow, your muscles relax. You are at peace. The quiet murmur of the night is a soft lullaby, a gentle song just for you. You let it wash over you, a wave of calm and peace. There is nothing left to do. There is nothing left to think about. There is only the darkness, the silence, and the promise of rest. You are a scribe. You are a keeper of history. And you are home. Good night.